The upcoming side quest for October proves to be a bit of a problem. It's fun, but it will and potentially cause a bit of a problem to you as a player. How, why, and totals. That's what we're going to discuss in this video. I think we're all very much aware of how this side quest works. If you've done dimensional rifts in the past, and to kind of like repeat on something that I've made several videos on, you go in, you take your chance on a path, you could get lucky with getting something good, you could get bad lucky and not get anything good. That is a thing, that can happen. But this is a bit different this time. Kabam have decided to add in something that gives you guaranteed rewards. These guaranteed rewards are a currency you can get and then spend in a store. That is a bit of a different thing. They had something similar to the red riffs and the way that you had like a chronometer. By the way, they don't have a chronometer. There was also another time they did rifts, and basically those things were guarantees that you could land on a path and get the item that was on there. So like in this scenario saying you could land on a path and get a 6-star awakening gem guaranteed. That is not in this month. So instead we've got this kind of like candy situation. You can spend on currency, you can get stuff. But there is a problem. Do you see what the problem is on screen? Yes, that is right. And as Kabam say here, it's non-candy goodies. This causes a problem because you're not able to guarantee what is on the path, and it can affect some totals, which we'll talk about in a second. And there is a side quest totals spreadsheet, which is in the link in the description. It looks, just briefly, it looks like this. We're going to be referring back to it in a moment, so go and check that. It's on version 1. There will be a version 2 and a version 3 as per information is kind of like, you know, we play the quest and we get to find out how things work. Like, one crucial thing is that it gives the impression, and this is pretty much given by how this reads, is that you're only able to do one difficulty. Yes, it says there's 4 difficulties, but one thing that hasn't been confirmed, I have definitely seen anything from Kabam Jacks to confirm this, but it looks fairly likely, as it says with here, path rewards are refreshed and spots are consumed with every entry. So a spot is consumed, and as it says here, defeat mystery opponents to earn spots from daily releasing solo objectives. Now, does that imply you say I'm Paragon? Oh, I am Paragon. But does that mean I'm gonna get a master, heroic, and epic, as well as my Paragon level objective? So am I going to get 4 objectives done, similar to say an EOP type objective? I don't think so. But there could be a bit of hope that you could get all of them, and that will change the scope of this particular video and spreadsheet as it goes on. But as I said, like, it doesn't confirm anything right here that you're able to do 4 different types of difficulty rifts. It kind of gives the impression you get 1 spot. Again, read of it as you will on this one, because look, you know, it says defeat mystery opponents to earn spots, or spot. Yeah, I'm not going to read too much into detail on the wording of it, but I just get the idea, and the kind of, you know, would Kabam allow for like lots of rerolls of this, or kind of lots of difficulties, which would be nice. It would be really nice, especially when we're going to look at the rewards. But as well, there is kind of like a bit of an issue that we need to kind of like go over. The main thing to kick off the dissection before we go onto the spreadsheet is that there should be 35 days or 35 opportunities, especially with how something breaks down, we're going to see in a moment, as to how many entries you get into the dimensional rifts. Okay, so say there's 35. Now it could be 34 based on the way that this could fall, but I kind of think it's 35 because you get one on the 5th of October and one on the morning of the 9th of November, and that should be where you're allowed to kind of like, you know, 35 is meant to do. It makes sense, what you're going to see in a moment. So bringing up the spreadsheet, which as I said, link is in the description down below. It's difficult to get rewards totals because the impact is here. Again, let's explain this, right? So with your candies, you get 35 entries, but there is a 90% chance you land on the candies. So you're not always, potentially not always, out of those 35 runs, going to land on candies. And as Kabam said in the forum thread, is that the issue is you might land on non-candy goodies, right? Those non-candy goodies. And how it breaks down here, saying like, well, there's a 90% chance you'll get candy, but then there's a 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%, 1%, 1% chance of landing on these particular runs. Now, I'm not going to go into the mathematical kind of ratio of you actually landing on these particular ones and the damage it could potentially do. This is why I'm going to mention as to maybe it's best to wait until the ending, a little bit towards the ending of the event before you buy everything in the store that you can possibly get. The reason being, you may not get all the candies you think you're going to get. So as Kabam even kind of pointed out in a message somewhere, they said that you probably won't be able to buy the entire store, or you won't be able to buy the entire store from a progression standpoint, but also a slight chance of not being able to buy for your particular progression. So you might have to make sacrifices, and that's very important. So as you can see on screen right now, if you're Cav to Paragon, you can get 700,000 candies if you arrive 100% of the time on a candy lane. As we said, there are 10% broken down into little increments of percentages as to not landing on those particular paths. With Epic, it's 35,000, right? Makes perfect sense. Master, 210,000, Heroic, 140,000. And as I said, it is unlikely you're able to do multiple difficulties. You can only do the one for your progression. So please choose correctly with it. So if you've chosen Epic one week, it could scuff you up by like that mistake. So you've got to be careful with it. You really got to be careful with it. So what else? Well, spending scenarios. Is it worth doing spending scenarios and Best Buys? Probably not, but probably yes. Probably not being that, again, you're on a high percentage of chance of arriving on what you need to arrive on your amount of candies for what you purchase. The total candies breakdown, I've done this spreadsheet, which as I said, link in the description. It's on version 1, version 2, and 3, because there's tabs I'm still going to work on, is out later on this week. So on the total candies, it does add up to 700,000, going on to different types of areas, which you can see. There's going to be some stuff that you might go, do you know what? I could save myself the hassle of spending 60,000 candy on tier 4 basic catalysts, right? And that's good. That can save you that particular spend. And you can go, right, well, it doesn't matter that I'm not going to get, and with that 3 runs, I'm actually instead going to be getting something like what Kabam say we can get, say for whatever reason, as a Paragon player, Cavalier player, a Thronebreaker player, and for whatever reason you miss out on the candy. Look, it happens, but you land on gold. So okay, that's fine. I don't need to kind of spend any gold because I can change the way I'm spending my candies. Say it happens a second time. You're like, okay, well, you get very lucky and get 6-star Hero Crystals 10,000. Well, that's fantastic. So it means that yes, you're without 20,000 candies, but you can change what you're spending. And a further 20,000 is lost. What do I do? We get tier 5 basic for your travel, or you get 6-star signature stone. So you just go, right, well, I'm not going to spend on the tier 4 class catalyst the 5 that I can buy, which comes to 60,000. I've saved the 60,000 I need to spend, so instead it's not too much of a problem. Do you see what we're kind of like we're trying to talk about here is it may not be doom and gloom for you because you can benchmark where you're spending as to what you're going to get out of it. There's also going to be some debatable things of like, do bear in mind there is 10,000 shards available from the solo event if you do weeks 1 to 5 in the little shards that you get on a monthly basis, which is great. But apart from that, there's some notable things like there's 9,500 potential total of 6-star shards. 9,500 including the mythic or 6-star shard choice, and that's down to a personal preference there of what you're saving up for. Maybe you're saving up for shards for the 7 stars coming in November, so that's going to be again down to a personal preference. 20,000 Cavalier shards available, so again, great. That could be 10. Ow, I've hit my hand then. Oh god, I'm not going to edit that out. I'm going to leave that in the video. My pain, my suffering. But yeah, hopefully that kind of gives you an idea there of the of that. I'm going to do some spend scenarios. I am going to be filling out this section here about these solo events and other stuff. The spreadsheet has all the information. There's not too much to really write home about with what you get from the end of it. It just seems like a regular month. No extra tier 6 basic, no extra tier 3 alpha for those at Paragon, Paragon Thronebreaker, etc. Just another kind of month really. and there's RNG, but a little store as well. So there's some guaranteed stuff, but also no chronometer or guaranteed choice of path, which is a bit of a disappointment. But there's some stuff to be concerned about when it comes to the amount of the candies you get, and also things that could go wrong and how you try and put it right by balancing those spends. We'll be talking about this a bit more in some future videos. I hope this video helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure as well to check out some other content which is located on screen right now. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.